All right, so today is May 18th. We are here at Africa on the Avenue. To start, could you please tell me your name?
I'm Nakima.
Nice to meet you. And could you tell me a little bit about yourself?
So I'm a native of the island of Barbados. I currently reside in Maryland. When I first came to this country, I grew up in New Jersey. Ended up coming out here to the D.C. area. Ended up coming out here for college. I went to Catholic U. Been out here for a while.
Perfect. And when did you leave Barbados?
I was a minor then, so probably somewhere between 10, 12, and ended up coming to live in New Jersey. Yeah.
Awesome. And was there a reason that your family decided to go to Jersey, or was it just like spur of the moment?
Well, my mom originally came here as a nurse. She was a nurse before she left Barbados. So just for opportunity, I think most islanders, parents leave for a better opportunity, and so that was the case. And I think New York, New Jersey, because they had family connections, and more so friend connections there, that prompted them to go to Jersey City. Mm-hmm.
And you said you came to the DMV area for school.
Yes.
Why did you choose the school specifically?
Why did I choose DC? Well, being the oldest of my siblings, and my parents are Caribbean, it was kind of, you're gonna, go where they suggest or say.
Yeah.
And initially I ran track, so there was that. I was getting recruited for hurdling and running track. And also at the time, DC was very much a mecca. Not knowing a lot of African American history at that time, it was great to come to DC. You had Pyramid Books, you had Blue Nile, which is still here, you had Seven Powers. It was such a place a hub, I think, for young African American people, young black people to come. And really, even if you were not going to school out here, like Howard, for example, you were still immersed in the culture. It was always around you. You walked down the street, you were hearing go-go. You could hear and see other people that looked like you and also responded to you. So that whole thing of representation these days being important, it was very much so important for me to come to school in this area with culture around me. Mm-hmm.
And what are some of your favorite spots here in the area?
To be honest, the culture has changed a bit. So I tend to I don't come out often in this area. When I do come out, it's for performance reasons. I'm an African dancer with a couple of groups here, so that's usually why. That's why I'm here today, in fact, performing with a group here. So it's usually to dance, or so I don't have a specific place per se. I'm a little older now, so I don't really have a specific place. I think it's Ben's Chili Bowl was one of the places I would go, which is still here. The museums, of course, but that's it. I don't really have a specific. I definitely come to Blue Nile. Blue Nile is still one of the long-lasting hubs for those who are into like herbal remedies and naturopathic traditions. So yeah.
Awesome. Mm-hmm. And could you tell me a little bit about your experience dancing? How long you've been doing it? What got you into it? Things like that.
So my grandma, who's passed away, she passed about 2 years ago, and she would say to anyone, she was like, before she could walk, she was dancing. So around 2, I would just pull up, and I do kind of remember that, like any rhythms or tones or beats would always get my attention. So I was always bouncing and moving around. So dance has always been, I think, pretty intrinsic, and it has become, I've just actually, I think, accepted it based on what people say as a gift. It's something that I don't think about. It's something that comes naturally, and when I do it, I definitely feel my connection to African culture. I feel my ancestors present. So a lot of it's me, but a lot of it is not me. It's the vessel that I am. I guess I can say that. So dancing has always been, I was always dancing at family functions. I dragged my sister into it. We would do different routines and entertain our family. And so I always, in the back of my mind, I think, gravitate to dance. But again, having Caribbean parents, you're not going to do dance as a career in your life. You have to choose something that will make you money. So I sort of ironically, I focused on education. My education, I was a hurdler in high school and college. I played all basketball, cross-country, tennis, all of it. Even though I'm very petite, you couldn't tell me that I wasn't 6'3". So yeah, and that still lends to itself. So then I had my children went to an African-centered school here back at the time, and because of that, I was also taking African dance class. So again, it was always there. I just didn't have, I guess, the direction or the guidance. I wasn't taking dance classes, those kind of things. So once I started taking African dance class, and I didn't start off very well. I was definitely that person, everyone's going to the left and I was going to the right. So eventually I learned to just hone it in for myself. And a friend of mine who is a percussionist in the DC area, and he would have some performances, and I would go and show up and do my little, dancing, my whole thing, and eventually they asked me to join them. So I think from there it began. I was with a few bands here, also singing background vocals, but currently I'm with Chekamala Diabate. He's from Mali, West Africa. He's known as a griot. So I play the shakere with him. I'm working on doing background vocals. I used to also perform and dance with Janka Nabe, who was from Sierra Leone, but he's passed away a few years ago. So I've had opportunities to really, again, even though I'm not directly, I haven't been to the continent, definitely I've had opportunities to be immersed in it, to sing in those languages, and to be exposed in it even though I'm on American soil. So I've really, it's found its way back to me, or I've found its way back to it. So anything you're supposed to do, I think if it's for you, it's going to find its way back. And that's definitely where I am right now. So, yeah.
Taking a jump back to your childhood, is there a specific dish or like tradition that you find yourself going back to?
Let's see. Well, it's always music. Our traditional dish is called kuku. It's similar to, I would say, fufu, except it's not pounded yam, it's pounded cornmeal that we use okra. And so we're also with flying fish. So, and that's a traditional fish that you would find synonymous to Barbados cuisine. So that's one of the things. We play calypso, so music has always been a part of it. That's really it. I think the food, the culture, and also the like expectations of your behavior, the way you carry yourself in public, how you represent yourself, and how you speak and what you say. So all those things from my upbringing just kind of stayed with me. So all those things that my parents have done, the sacrifices, it all at some point sinks in, I think. So. Mm-hmm.
Well, that's all the questions I have. Is there anything that I didn't ask that you would like to touch on?
No, I appreciate this opportunity. I've been dancing for a long time. As a woman, as a black woman, in music and in this field, it can be very challenging. So sometimes you have to assert yourself. We definitely work collectively, but there are times, especially being on this soil, there are times that you have to say, you have to make sure that you're represented appropriately, that you're spoken to appropriately, you're respected appropriately. And even though I guess I have this appearance with the slight bags under my eyes right now, I have 3 amazing grown children. I'm also a grandma. So I'm very, very blessed and very, very fortunate to keep doing what I'm doing. I appreciate all the people that I've worked with. I appreciate the opportunity for this interview. And so each day is a blessing. A couple years ago, we couldn't do this. So when I come out to live music and people are just standing around, I literally just stand and I'm like, or I'll say, we couldn't do this. And, they get into it. They start dancing because it's life. It's movement, live, breathe, exist, because nothing's promised to us. And so every day that I get to interact and dance with people, and I really like to activate the crowd also, because it's sometimes like crowds are, depending on the crowd, they're waiting for you to say, just can we dance with you? And so jumping down off the stage and getting them engaged, it's a give and take of energy. And again, this is not, I enjoy dancing, but there are times it is definitely spirit-filled and spirit-led. And again, the only reason I've finally come to understand is because people tell me that. It's not because I feel that way about myself. But I'm finally at a certain age, accepting it. And it's the accepting, I think, that just makes me love it even more. So thank you so much.
Perfect. Thank you for taking the time to do this.
Appreciate it.